Kahala Lemna, Yahaba Hashem Yahshab Hashem Hakodash, and double on this is great Muslim apostles. Kahala Lemna, meaning all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Yahweh being the Most High's name, of course Yahushai being the Messiah's name as well of Israel, of course Yahweh meaning he is or he is to be or he exists, and Yahushai meaning he delivers. So as you can tell from today's topic, Salakia. This topic being the fact that not every Israelite that you may see or Israelite looking person is an actual Israelite, man. And that this lesson really is just a quick lesson based on wheat and tares, because we know, I'm going to bring it out, but we have the lesson where it talks about there's wheat, which is really the righteous seed of Israel, and obviously tares where we'll go back into the curses that when Yahweh sent us in slave ships, Esau pretty much spread his seed, and that's when he started to sow tares. And obviously we're going to get into that in this lesson today. So let me get the scriptures right now. Because obviously you may think that every so-called Negro is a Jake, but oftentimes you never know when they may be a tare, man. That's why sometimes they may not appear to have that salt. That's that's referring to Israel, as the scriptures say, they are the salt of the earth, man. Israel is the salt of the earth. In fact, I'll start with that before I then get the parable of the sower and the seed. So let me guess. Yeah, the sower. You gotta be careful, man. That's why the scriptures also say you gotta test their fruits, man. It's not everyone that you gotta be telling this truth to, and also it's not everyone that will actually be able to understand it or comprehend it. So Matthew 5 verse 13, it says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savour, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men." So the basic point is Israel is the salt of the earth, man. What would be the point of the earth existing if Israel wasn't in it, man? That's why I said, but if the salt have lost his savour, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. That as Israelites, as Jake is pretty much roaming the earth today, man. They're the ones adding the salt to the earth, the flavor, man, the flavor, which really, you can tell from the movies and pretty much wherever Jake gets into, sports, some kind of a certain activity, Jake pretty much adds the salt to it, man, adds his own style to it, So that's the one right there, man, about Jake being the salt of the earth. And of course, the reason why I brought it out is because the fact that the tares, obviously being rooted from Esau, Edom, they're not going to have that salt, man. They're not going to have that salt. That's the basic point. So let me get to the actual parable based on the wheat and the tares. It's in Matthew 13. So it says here, actually wait, let me get down to the verse. Oh, can't I go it? This is Matthew 13, verse 24. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. This is Matthew 13. Okay. This is Matthew 13, verse 24. Another parable put ye forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. And obviously that's talking about the righteous seed, man. Read the creation of Israel. So Matthew 13 verse 25, but while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat. So again, that's reference to Esau, Edom. Because when his enemy came, so when the Edomites came, and obviously it was our punishment, as I'm going to get into Deuteronomy 28, for us to be put into slave ships. And of course, as we were put into these slave ships, that's when Esau Edom spread his seed around, man. You know, going into the women of Israel, and of course, that's when the tares start to come about. Verse 26, but when the blades were sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So obviously that would be confusing, because you know the tares is mixed in with the wheat. So Matthew, I'll just keep reading onwards. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From hence when hath it tares? So one of the servants was saying, didn't you actually grow good seeds? And where did the actual tares come from? That's essentially what that verse was saying. He said unto them, an enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? Meaning, the servants asked him, should we go gather up the tares? And it says here, but he said, nay. So no, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. So he said no. The sower said no, don't gather up the tares yet, unless let's say what if you then uproot the wheat with the tares, which would be which would be a very big mistake, because obviously the wheat are profitable. Matthew 13 verse 30, let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. So spiritually, obviously Akim with the understanding as well, and for people, you know, new to the truth, brothers, sisters, you know, the new ones, really what that last verse is referring to, where it says let both grow together until the harvest. So obviously the sower, you know, Yahweh Shem Shai, obviously producing the righteous seed of Israel, and of course the tares as well. And really the wheat, if we're really going to pertain it to this current time, is really the elect, man. The elect are 144,000, the 1/3, they're the ones who are the wheat, the righteous seed, man. And the tares, those are the Edomites that then the Edomites pretty much spend their seeds. And of course the wicked seed, simplistically speaking, the wicked seed is reference to the tares. And of course we have Israelites today, of which they don't really go back to Israel, they go back to Edom, man. You know, that's why not every single Israelite looking person is an actual Israelite, because they could be an actual tare, you know. So it says, verse 30, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. And that barn is really referring to that salvation, man, Yahushua salvation, you know, which is the chariots. Because metaphorically speaking, that barn is really the chariots, man. Gather them up, gather the wheat into my barn, you know, as the tares are being burnt up. And that burning is going to come from the nuclear missiles. And these nuclear missiles are referenced in Joel 2, which I'll get right now. Coming. There's nuclear missiles. Of course, they're going to be burnt up with lasers. They're going to be burnt up with well, that's really the main thing. You got the chariot fires, the concentrated fires, which is the lasers from the chariots, because you know the chariots are capable of way more than just lasers as well, man. All sorts of heat to affect those tares, to burn up the tares. And obviously you got the lake of fire in Babylon, and obviously the main cities all around the earth, the major cities, you know, you got the ones in the UK, European Union and all that, you know. Got a major fire, nuclear missile straight to Babylon. And of course, when they gather up the tares, they're going to be thrown there too to burn. That's really what it's referring to, which is really the destruction of the wicked seed, man. Clear them all out. And as that's happening, then you got the beaming up of the elects, which are then going to be in the chariots. Yahweh Shem Yashai, Ratazah meaning willing. So Yahweh's will that would be worthy of that salvation to be gathered up into the barn, man, into those chariots. So I said I was gonna get a precept, but now it just went out of my mind. What is it? So I was on about chariots, obviously. Oh yeah, burning. I think Revelation 16 should be one to reference here. Yeah, come on. Let me get Revelation 16. Oh yeah, come on. Yeah, actually Joel 2. Salakia. I thought how shy. Sometimes the thought just goes out of your mind, man. So Joel 2, referencing the nuclear missiles, because metaphorically they're referred to as arrows, man. Arrows of the Most High. Now let's see. I'm gonna get straight to the path, man. Wait. It should be here. You know what? I mean, it is here. Just want to get that hard-hitting scripture. But I could actually read from verse 1. So, it says in Joel 2, referring to the arrows, which really are the nuclear missiles. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Which means that it's near at hand, man. Let all the inhabitants tremble, which means let them be scared. And of course, people roaming around, they ain't got that fear right now. But it's just a matter of patience, really. When Jacob's trouble comes, that's when that fear is really gonna come. When people's hunger, thirst, and basic needs start to be trampled. I don't even know if that's the word, but basically tampered with. Tampered with. Then they're gonna get serious. Then they're gonna get fearful. Then they're gonna be terrified. And it's always when it's too late, unfortunately, before people then actually change. Make some action to basically go towards the Most High. Specifically referring to the Israelites in this case. It's always when desperation hits, unfortunately, but that's why we gotta learn quickly, man. And those who know the truth right now, Yahweh Shem Yahshua has had mercy upon you, and of course we're supposed to just endure what we're supposed to endure through, and just keep going, and Yaratazar, kingdom come, that will get there. Yeah, man. So yeah, continuing on, let me actually just read it straight through, then probably break it down after I read all of it. So, well, the majority of Joel 2, if not a small proportion. So, yeah, verse 2, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So, pretty much the day of Yahweh's return, man. It says a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and a thick darkness, man. Of course, a lot of clouds, and also clouds can be a reference to chariots too. So we know in that day there's going to be a lot of chariots as well, man, when Yahweh arrives. A lot of chariots. A day of thick darkness, man. That's going to, and that thick darkness, yeah, that's going to evoke fear upon people, man. Because it's not going to be like any other day where it's like, okay, cool, it's nighttime, stormy, people have seen it before. No, this thing, when Yahweh comes, it's going to evoke fear, terror in the hearts of people. Israelites first, and of course heathens as well to follow. Let me get verse 3. It says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. And that's talking about those nuclear missiles, man. Because if you see it, it says, it says the land is as the Garden of Eden before them. So before the nuclear missiles arrive, it's peaceful, nothing much is happening. Then it says, and behind them a desolate wilderness. So they're gonna wipe out the place, man. when the nuclear missiles pass by, they're gonna wipe it out. That's literally how it's gonna be like, and that's how it is, man. You know, when a nuclear missiles drops, it clears everything with fire, man. It clears everything with fire. And it says, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. Nothing, man. You're not gonna outrun the nuclear missiles. You're not gonna outrun the nuclear missiles, man. This ain't like some superhero movie where you got you got the Flash flipping outrunning the nuclear missile or something, whatever. I think there was this specific episode about a bomb that was thrown in the sea, and it's like the Flash was running away from it, man. It was cold in that moment, but let's go back to reality where the thing is you can't outrun the nuclear missile. That's the point. You can't, man. So obviously it says, and nothing shall escape them. That's Joel 2 verse 3. It says in verse 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. And you know the way horsemen are charging, man, they're quick. They're just on towards the direction that it's supposed to be, the target. That's how it's going to be. They're not going to stop, man. They're going to keep going until they hit their target. Like the noise of the chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. So obviously they're going to be in order, man. They're going to be in order when I say they, I'm talking about the nuclear missiles for the new people watching as well. Of course, the new brothers and sisters. And Joel 2 says, before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness, man. It's going to be a dull day. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Again, they're not going to stop, man. You ain't going to see a nuclear missile flipping stop midway and be like, okay, let me let this guy pass through. No. The point is, it's going to keep going, man. You know the way, when just like a bullet. If a bullet is shot, it's not as if it's going to stop. Obviously, in the time of spiritual power, not to sway too off from the topic, but in the time where, the miracles come, Yahweh Shemi Ashai could put in a situation where, Esau Edom may be pointing a gun at you, it may shoot the bullet, but it may not even touch you, man. An angel could be right there in front of you to basically stop that bullet. The Most High could put spiritual power in the man and basically, save himself, really. But obviously, ultimately, it's down to Yahweh Shemi Ashai, man, the situation that he puts you in, and whether he decides to give you spiritual power or not. And obviously, for the women as well, same type of miracles can happen. You never know. A man can come up, save you. An angel could also slow down that bullet. But anyways, that's talk about a bullet. But going back to the topic of the arrows, the nuclear missiles, obviously they're not going to stop from the direction that they're going in. So it said, Khan. So, and when I say Khan as well, Khan means okay. So it means okay or so, but most of the time it means okay. So Joel 2 verse 9, they shall run to and fro in the city, and they shall run upon the wall, they shall climb up upon the houses, they shall enter into the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. So again, with all those nuclear missiles, it's going to affect the atmosphere, it's going to affect the earth. That's why I said it's going to be a great time, man. It's going to be a great time when Yahweh Shai comes, man. I'm talking about in a terror type of way. So man, that's really the point of the nuclear missiles, man. They're not going to break their ranks, man. That's the point. So when I was going back to the actual topic where the tares are going to be burnt, they're going to be burnt in those nuclear missiles, referencing Joel chapter 2. They're going to be burnt up, man. And of course, that's why you got to be cautious with how you walk as well. But let me continue on. It says, let's see. Oh yeah, That was reference. That was linking back to Matthew 13 verse 30 about and bind them in bundles It says, gather ye together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them. So again, nuclear missiles and lasers from the chariots. But gather the wheat into my barn. Again, the chariots. Because that's why, if you go back to wisdom, it said the strangeness of Yahushua's salvation. Obviously, I'm roughly paraphrasing it, man. Because the strangest is really the fact that no one's going to see it coming. No one's going to see a so-called black man or Latino or Native American Indian getting beamed up into the chariots, man. No one's going to see it. Obviously, when I say no one, obviously I'm talking about those of the world. But we know that those who are in the truth right now, they're aware of that fact, that chariots are going to be the method of salvation. I mean, every trash you get. Yeah. Okay. Should be here. No. So okay, let me actually search it up quickly. But the point is, the righteous seeds, they're going to be gathered up, and not every Jake, not every Israelite-looking person is an actual Israelite. You could have actual tares. I know Akim have also made videos based on the wheat and tares several times. So it's about time for me to also make a video on it. So that's what I'm doing. Wait, strangeness of his salvation. Strangeness of his salvation. How does it take so long just to... Maybe I'm missing something. Anyways, okay, I don't be searching, taking up too much time to search for it. But I think it's either in Wisdom or Ecclesiasticus, Apocrypha, obviously, about the strangeness of his salvation, man. Yahushua's salvation. Because the thing is, the reason why it's strange is because of the fact that the people of the world are not going to comprehend the fact that Israelites are going to be beamed up into so-called UFOs, man, which Esau called unidentified flying objects, or I think UAP or something. Well, UFO or UAP, unidentified something phenomenon or something, yeah. But the point is, they're not going to see it coming. That's why it's going to be strange to them. They're not going to see it coming. Even to the usual Jake who ain't going to grasp the truth, who's really a 2/3, they're not going to see it coming as well. So it's really the point that as we're walking in this truth as well, we may look at some Jakes. Obviously, not every Jake is a Jake, but you got the tares. Obviously, oftentimes you got the wheat as well. Jake's everywhere, Israel's everywhere. But occasionally, when you're testing spirits or testing the fruit of the spirit, then really just testing whether they can accept the truth or not. Then oftentimes, not oftentimes, but sometimes you may come across a tare, which is why we've got to be cautious when walking, man. When they can't grasp it, then we're just gonna move on and just keep doing what we're doing. The works of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But let me actually get the scripture based on I was talking about Esau's seed, which then created those tares, man, based on the wicked seed, man. Come here, just wait. Because that's in I think the curse of Deuteronomy 28 verse 63, about the fact that About in fact, let me get this. Okay. You know, I'll get Deuteronomy 28. I was actually looking for another precept based on the tares on the wheat. I know there's something else as well. Maybe it's oh, okay. That's further down in Matthew 13. But before I get that, let me just read Matthew 28, verse 28 verse 63. But this was when pretty much, as a curse from the Most High, really put upon Israel, put us in the slave ships, and that's when Esau spread his seed, obviously being the wicked seed, and created those tares. So, let's see. It says, and the Lord Yahweh shall bring. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy ye. Of course, it says sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. No man shall buy you. Obviously, Esau Edom being the main enemy, and of course, from there he spread his seed. And the point I pretty much repeated it so many times in the video, but he spread his seed, and that's how the tares were then created, man. So that's Deuteronomy. Okay, let me jump down to Matthew 13, verse 40. 13. Gonna need to blow my nose. Yeah, calm. What's the breakdown? Yeah, it's the breakdown of it, of the tares parable. So, yeah. Matthew 13, verse 36. And Yahushua said unto the multitude, away, and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. So Yahushua's disciples wanted him to explain the parable, man, of the tares, the wheat and the tares. He said, he answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man, so Yahushua. The field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, so again, Israelites, but the tares are the children of the wicked one, Edomites. Matthew 13 verse 39, the enemy that sold them is the devil, which obviously the devil comes in the form of Esau Edom, hence why he uses their vessels to then do the utmost wickedness upon the earth. The harvest is the end of the world, so again, that's when the nuclear missiles start coming, Jacob's trouble, Mark of the Beast is already there, and so on. All the prophecies that were made known in were established in Matthew 24 as well, majority of them. Continuing on, it says, so the enemy, verse 39, the enemy that sold them is the devil, the harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of the world. So again, that's why I brought out the nuclear missiles, man. That's when that's when the tares are gonna be burnt up. It says, the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity. Wait, let me read that again. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity. So obviously Yahushua is going to be doing a cleaning, man. He's going to be doing a cleaning with that fire, with the angels as reapers. It's going to be a lot of chaos in that day. A whole clearing, man. You know when a lawnmower goes over long grass as well, chops it all off. Man, it's going to be a whole clearing, but this time, but when I say this time, obviously with fire, because the last time it was with water, man. That was the major clearing. But this time it's going to be with fire. It says, They shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend and them which do iniquity. So, all the wicked is going to be cleared off. That's the point. Verse 41, actually, verse 42, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun, and the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. So again, who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Those who are able to grasp the understanding, let them understand. So of course, if they understand, then they'll be obliged to basically take action, man. Which again, depending on whether, you're a servant of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, you're a man, or you're a woman, which obviously there's still acts for pertaining to each role. So that's the point right there, man. That main point, it says, and shall cast them into, verse 42, Matthew 13 verse 42, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth, man. So that's going to be a painful day. Chaotic, terror, fear. It's all going to be all the feelings, man. It's all going to be there, man. It's all going to be there, all that suffering. That's when people going to take Yahweh Shem Yahshua seriously, man. No mocking anymore, no scoffers. That's what I'm laughing because the way scoffers be laughing at the truth, they be annoying brothers at camp as well, or even on the comment board. But then that time they're gonna be silent, man. They're gonna be silent. That's the point. So that's really the reason why I was just smiling and laughing, man. But yeah, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, that you brothers and sisters are edified. And we'll end it off there. Ka halalim la. Yahweh Shem Yahshua, Ba Hashem Rahak Wadash. And double on this great Son apostles. And once more, Ka halalim la, meaning all praises to you. Yahweh being the name of the Most High. Yahweh Shai is the name of the Messiah. And of course, Ba Hashem. Ba means in, Ha means the, and Sham means name. So Ba Hashem. So obviously through Yahweh Shai, that's how we get to Yahweh. And yes, Shalom, which means peace, really. Or like a greeting. Calm.